So hi guys, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Unlock Psychology Shweta. And first of all, thank you for subscribing to my channel, showing so much of support, love, affection, and everything. I already have Erica out here who's saying I'm here on time today. So hi Erica, it's been such a long time. What's up and how are you doing? How's the wait going on for the first cut off to release? मतलब कि डीयू ने तो बैंड बजा के रखी है बॉस. कट ऑफ मतलब रिलीज करने का नाम ही नहीं ले रहा है. I'm also pretty good. सही चल रहा है. अच्छा ही चल रहा है in fact. So yeah. And what is the excitement? Like what are you doing? You're like still waiting and कि जब admissions खुलेंगे तभी admissions लूंगी डीयू में कि you already fixed up something कहीं पे. डीयू आई as far as I know 1st October को छोड़ रहा है ना अपनी फर्स्ट कट ऑफ यार जितना मुझे पता है. I go, oh wonderful. So you're doing it there or you're still waiting कि कहीं और हो जाए और डीयू हो जाए मतलब कि what are you waiting for? Like what is your plan? But no waiting for डीयू के कट ऑफ. Okay. या मोस्टली मतलब कि डीयू तो भगवान ही मान लेते हैं ना हम लोग सब. अच्छा हाँ हो भी जाएगा यार ऑब्वियसली यू नो योर कट ऑफ्स तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग इट्स पॉसिबल ऑल्सो 100% दैट यू विल गेट थ्रू इन डीयू तो व्हाई नॉट. Symbiosis is back. Chalo, good. That's wonderful. I don't know. Most of the people haven't joined me today only. I mean, for some reason. So, वो ये ना लास्ट ईयर का जो बैच था उसका तो काफी सॉलिड बन गया था. अभी वाला बिल्डअप होने में टाइम ले रहा है. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट रीजन आई एम श्योर अदरवाइज तो आई नो आई हैव अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल यू नो हु टर्न अप and with whom I interact, talk, and do everything. So thank you, Erica, for just hanging in there and interacting with me. Uh, and how is it going with Avishi? Avishi का क्या सीन चल रहा है? वो क्या करने वाली है आगे अभी जा करके? She's also waiting for DU. कि she's like fixed up her mind or what? Like what scene? Okay. So ditto same scene है. अच्छा उसका भी she's also got into मतलब कि दोनों sisters वो DU is our ultimate goal. चलो यार that's really wonderful. DU ने हालांकि इस बार सबको तड़पा के रखा हुआ है. बट या आई नो हो तो जाना ही है वो तो पक्की बात है. मतलब कि आई नो सो मेनी पीपल जिन्होंने कहीं ना कहीं अपना एक या तो बैकअप रखा हुआ है या कहीं पे एडमिशन ले लिया है ऑलरेडी कि चलो वी वोंट वेट एंड वी वोंट डू एनीथिंग एल्स एंड दिस एंड दैट करके. सो विच इज प्रीटी गुड इन अ वे. कमेंट्स में तो इतने लोग पूछते रहते हैं एग्जाम्स के बारे में. यहाँ पे साला कोई आता ही नहीं है. अभी तक कोई नहीं आया यार. इट्स सो since Stephen's released a cutoff काफी जल्दी. अच्छा what is it? I didn't know. Stephen's का cutoff ऐसे अलग आता है. That I knew that. But how much is the cutoff for economics honors? और क्या cutoff आया और कब release हुआ था? You didn't get through in Stephen's. Like कितना 1% रह गया होगा. Because इसके अलावा तो तुम सब कुछ तो तुम कर चुकी हो जिसके लिए ऐसा कभी होना नहीं चाहिए तुम्हारे साथ. So God knows. And with me, things. Okay, just a second. Just one thing that I want to do. I was so sure about it. See, I knew it. मतलब कि कैसे मतलब इतने ब्राइट बच्चों का डीयू के अंदर नहीं हुआ. मतलब इतने. That's what I was wondering. That how is it even possible? इतना परसेंटेज ला के भी अगर नहीं हो रहा है तो क्या चाहिए बॉस. क्या व्हाट डू दे वांट और किन लोगों का है. कौन है वो लोग जो स्टीफेंस में गए हैं जहाँ पे उनकी जो है वो क्लोज हो गई है. बट आई हर्ड यार DU has started a physical classes from today onwards. This is what I heard. मतलब I was reading, not heard. सुना नहीं मैंने किसी से. I was reading it कि आज से DU ने अपनी classes शुरू कर दी हैं physically. So they're calling students to university and colleges and they're, giving class. 99.5 माय गुडनेस, हाउ बैड इज दैट ना? इससे बेहतर मुझे लगता है कि एंट्रेंस एग्जाम कर लो यार, ये सब नॉनसेंस मत करो। यस यस, थर्ड ईयर का के क्लासेस ना, हाँ हाँ हाँ, आई हर्ड। मैम, ओनली प्रैक्टिकल्स और साइंस? हाँ, Siddhi, I did not understand your question. Could you please repeat yourself? Like, what are you trying to ask? Your question is pretty confusing to me. Like, क्या पूछना चाह रही हो? सही है, तुम लोगों का भी हो जाएगा, तुम लोग भी चले जाओगे आराम से, कॉलेज वॉलेज जाओगे, फाइनली सपना पूरा होगा। आई लव वीकली व्लॉग्स। वीकली व्लॉग्स में यार मजा तो आ रहा है, बट उसके लिए हम लोगों को बड़े चैलेंजेस आ रहे हैं, क्योंकि वीकली व्लॉग प्रिपेयर करना, अपलोड करना, एडिट करना, एंड देन साइमल्टेनियसली हमारे वाले पोर्शंस को भी बना के चलना, इट इज अ टास्क, इट इंडीड इज अ ह्यूज टास्क। Hi Kanika, hi, how are you? Good, good, good. I'm doing super well. How are you doing, dear? I'm having a quick source of energy. So I was having a mild headache, पता नहीं क्यों, thought. Acha guys, I had decided to go for this Q&A. You guys are so hardworking, best people. No, 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 no. It's not you guys. It's only him who's hardworking. I have to say this again and again and give him the credit for what he does all the time. So yes, I have to do that. So, but thank you for appreciating. I mean, it really takes a lot of effort. Why don't you start a YouTube channel, Erica? It'll be, I'm sure, very entertaining. You seems to be a very interesting person. I think you can start something on those grounds. That'll be very nice. ओके, सो आई थिंक मुझे अभी अपना MCQ स्टार्ट कर देना चाहिए, irrespective of how many number of people joins. I mean, to be very honest, this has been the worst number of live audience I've had in such a long time. क्योंकि तीन तीन लोग देख रहे हैं मुझे इस टाइम पे, दिस हैज नेवर हैपेंड इन अ रियली लॉन्ग 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 टाइम। तो it is sad, but of course, definitely there will be people who will watch it later. So for those individuals, I think I need to start with the portion that I had decided to cover for my today's live session. um पता नहीं बॉस, पता नहीं क्या है और क्या नहीं है, but I could see only 3 people watching, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. Of course, it takes time to build up your audience for that relevant content, so I'm okay with that. uh Twins channel will rock. I agree, I'm not kidding. Like, you guys can talk about um, you know your life, how similar you are, how different you are, and there can be a lot of things that you guys can plan. I'm being very serious about it. Kanika is saying, as ma'am, the audience is more for admission and career related, maybe because by seeing the live for today, they didn't come. I'm sure that is the possibility. This is the reason I'm saying that it takes time to build up the audience. So I have a less audience for this particular genre, but all I'm saying is I'm okay with it because I know people watch it later. So this is the reason now I want to start the content so that whoever finds it relevant actually uh, watch it later. बाद में भी उसे ये ना लगे ये तो गप्पा ही मार के चली गई। Okay, and so on that note, let me begin with the MCQ type questions. As we all know, the pattern for our CBSE examination is drastically and rapidly changing and shifting and moving, and it's very important to keep ourselves updated and keep ourselves really up to the mark on it. And this is the reason I'm here with you all, जहाँ पर मैं आपको MCQ questions की practice करवाने जा रही हूँ। और these MCQ questions are like extremely easy, and there'll be a bunch of this thing. Just a second, guys. There'll be yeah. And maybe soon in future we can practice a question paper also, which can help you guys to actually understand that what kind of a question that can be asked in examination. Okay, so you need to stay updated and just hang in there in order to actually um, know all of it. Okay. um, just a second, I seem to have lost that section. Okay, so guys, assertion and reasoning based questions are something that's really recently building up, and बहुत बच्चों को confusion होता है कि हम assertion reasoning based questions को कैसे crack करें. So assertion reasoning based questions को crack करने का तरीका होता है कि आप ये देखोगे जो assertion है यानी कि जो statement दिया गया है उसके बीच में जब आप because लगाओगे, does it make any sense? Do you feel, is it in any order or is it in any flow? And that's the point of time you're going to realize whether it is an appropriate statement or not. Okay. Also, guys, if you want me to make a video on the same assertion reasoning based questions, you can let me know. I can make a video and put it up so that you can have an access to it later as well. So I'm going to start off with the first assertion reasoning based question. Okay. Um, okay. Um, so the option remains the same. यानी कि मैं ऑप्शन आपके लिए पढ़ देती हूँ. जब भी आपसे assertion reasoning based questions पूछे जाएंगे तो उसमें options यही बनते हैं. क्या बनते हैं? एक ऑप्शन नंबर ए होता है, both assertion A and the reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. ठीक है, ये हमेशा ऑप्शन नंबर 1 रहेगा. ऑप्शन नंबर 2 आपको मिलेगा, both assertion and the reason are true, but a reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. क्वेश्चन नंबर ऑप्शन नंबर 3 मिलेगा कि assertion यानी कि A is true but reason R is false. ठीक है, और डी ऑप्शन मिलता है कि assertion is false but the reason is true. तो आपके जो options होते हैं वो यही होते हैं. You can write down these options at some place so that जब मैं क्वेश्चन रीड आउट करूं तो आप अपनी assertion reason के जितने भी options हैं उनको बहुत ध्यान से देखो. ठीक है, तो let me begin with the first question based on assertion and reasoning. People, assertion है, people behave differently in similar situation. Reason है, self and personality characteristics make people different from each other. Now how do you have to understand it is that people behave differently in a similar situation because self and personality characteristics make people different from each other. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right, Erica. Erica is like bang on. Erica, तुम्हारा syllabus खत्म हो चुका है. तो the answer is absolutely your option number A कि both assertion and reason दोनों ही true हैं. Also, जो reason है वो correct explanation है assertion का. ठीक है? So we pointed out as option number A as correctly being stated by our dear Erica. Okay. Hi Pranika, how are you doing, dear? Option number 2, I mean question number 2 for you all today. There is one guna present in every person. Reason, the dominance of one guna leads to a particular type of behavior. Okay. Now we're going to look at from the other point of view, right? We'll see it. There is one guna present in every person because the dominance of one guna leads to a particular type of behavior. Do you think it's a right statement? Well, as per my understanding also, this is not a right, I mean, there is not only one guna. If you remember and recall your memory from the type approach, you'll realize that there are 3 gunas. तो इससे क्या साबित हुआ? इससे ये साबित हुआ कि जो assertion है वो false है. Okay, so one thing is very clear. So when the assertion is false, तो हमारा A nullify हो जाता है, option number B nullify हो जाता है, and option number C also apparently nullify हो जाता है. And then in that case, we are left with only option number D. Okay, which is assertion is false, but the reason is true. Got it? So you have to use a lot of understanding, a lot of your memory a lot of logical reasoning in order to answer assertion reasoning based questions. Yes, I can send you the PDF. You need to send me a mail for this, okay? I'm reading it out all very slow and in a nominal pace so that you all can catch up with what I'm talking, okay? So this is the reason. Please listen to all of it very, very carefully. Question number 3 for the day, guys. Assertion here. Each one of us has the capacity to choose and create. Your option assertion is each one of us has the capacity to choose and create. Reason hai every individual suffers from the feeling of adequacy and ego, that is superiority complex, which arise from childhood. Okay, now I'm gonna read it out from the point of view which you all have to look into it. Okay, each one of us has the capacity to choose and create because every individual suffer from the feeling of adequacy and ego, that is superiority complex, which arise from a childhood. Now if you read it very very carefully, guys, you will realize that हमारा assertion तो ठीक है, but इसके लिए जो reasoning दी है वो तो correct नहीं हो रही है, right? And this is the reason for this question. Our answer is going to be option number C, which is assertion is true, but the reason is false. Okay, the assertion is true, but the reason is false. With that, now I move on to your all question number 4. Okay, listen to it very carefully, everyone. Okay, strong sense of self efficacy allows people to select, influence, and even construct the circumstances of their own life. I'm repeating the question for you all. Strong sense of self-efficacy allow people to select, influence, and even construct the circumstances of their own life. Reason hai, society, parents, and their own positive experiences can help in the development of a strong sense of self efficacy by presenting a positive model during the formative years of childhood. Okay, now let's look at the point of view that we all have to use. Okay, pay a very close attention, guys. Strong sense of self efficacy allow people to select, influence, and even construct the circumstances of their life because society, parents, and their own positive experiences can help in the development of a strong sense of self efficacy by presenting positive models during the formative years of children. Now, if you look at this very, very carefully, you will realize that assertion is also true and the reason is also true. How you developed your self efficacy is through this process only. And one thing is there that the reasoning is not the correct reasoning for the assertion. So that's what you write. So Rajdeep, Sifat Kaur, you all can get the PDF. You need to send me a mail, okay? So I can provide you with all the material. So basically, this all material is can be used by anyone for the practice. So don't worry about it. If in case you need it, you can get in touch with me. I'll send you the information. No issues. Let me move on to the next assertion reasoning based question for you all, guys. Question है the thematic a perception test. और अगर आप इन चीज़ों को बहुत ध्यान से सुनेंगे, guys, तो you will realize कि ये जितने भी questions है ना, they are all अंडरस्टैंडिंग बेस्ड. अगर आपने अपनी समझ को स्ट्रॉन्ग कर लिया है, इफ यू मेड योर कॉन्सेप्ट्स वेरी क्लियर एंड ऑन पॉइंट, nobody could actually stop you to score full marks. बट वही है कि अगर आप सरफेस लेवल पे पढ़ाई करोगे, then it's very hard, then you can't achieve the goal. So you have to have a thorough command over the content in order to score well. This is something that you need to keep in mind. Okay, so thematic A perception test was developed by Herman Rorschach. See, they tested your understanding. So do we know who conducted a thematic A perception test? We will get to know only when we learn it. Okay? So thematic A perception test, it's an assertion. Thematic A perception test was developed by Herman Rorschach because it is a little more structured than the inkblot test. Now what you get to know about it is कि ये दोनों ही स्टेटमेंट फॉल्स है, असर्शन भी फॉल्स है और उसका रीजनिंग भी फॉल्स है, इसीलिए इसका आंसर जो होगा वो होगा ऑप्शन नंबर डी, दैट assertion is false but the reason is true. Okay. Yeah, so assertion is false because of course thematic A perception test has been developed by Morgan and Murray, as we all know, right? Let's head on to the next one. Sentence completion test. Now you see assessment of personality section से किस तरह से questions तुमसे पूछे जा सकते हैं. So sentence completion test makes use of a number of incomplete sentences. Right? I think ये बात सच है. Do we all know that in the sentence completion test कितने statements होंगे या क्या statements होंगे? Right? Incomplete sentences होंगे. We all know that, right? Now assertion क्या है? It is held that the type of ending used by the subject reflects their attitude, motivation, and conflicts. So let's read it from a perspective which you all have to use, which is sentence completion test makes use of a number of incomplete sentences because it is held that the type of endings used by the subjects reflects their attitude, motivations, and conflicts. So when you read it like this, you realize that assertion भी सही था, reasoning भी सही थी, और assertion की जो reasoning दी गई है वो भी bang on है. इसीलिए the correct answer is option number A. Okay? I hope the session is helping you guys because this is the whole purpose of practicing these tough assertion based questions, because this is this area which is least explored by majority of population, and मैं चाहती हूँ that you all get the exposure of this kind of stuff so that you're really savvy when you actually get to face them in your exams. Okay, अगला question पढ़ते हैं. Women are more likely to be affected by social and cultural factor than the biological factor. Okay. Freud considered women as inferior. Now let's read it that way. Women are more likely to be affected by society and cultural factors than the biological factors because Freud considered women as inferior. Now, what is the right answer to this question, guys? That both assertion and the reasons are true. Because if you remember psychoanalytical theory, उसमें Freud ने तो यही सारी बातें कही थी, right? He did emphasize over the biological differences and the inferiority that a woman experiences. But the reasoning is not correct. Okay? So that's how you have to use your brain, and you will select option number B as your answer for such a question. If there's anything that you people want to talk about, guys, please drop your your query or your anything, whatever you want to speak about in the chat box, please, so that I can handle it. Okay, guys, let's do a last question for the day, and after that I'll open the session for a general Q&A for you all. Assertion है use of observation for personality assessment is a sophisticated procedure that cannot be carried out by trained people. Right? हमें पता चल गया ये ट्रू है कि फॉल्स है. ओके, इसका रीजन क्या दिया है? रीजन दिया है observation requires careful training of observer and fairly detailed guidelines to carry out analysis to use observation to assess the personality. अब मुझे ऐसा लगता है जब हम इसको दूसरे तरीके से पढ़ते हैं that let's read it. The use of observation for personality assessment is a sophisticated procedure that cannot be carried out by a trained people because observation requires careful training of the observer and a fairly detailed guidelines to carry out the analysis or to use observations to assess personality. ठीक है? So what do you understand out of this, guys? Option number D. क्यों? क्योंकि just a second, guys. So option number D is the right answer, guys. क्योंकि आप जैसे कि जान ही सकते हैं कि जो पहला स्टेटमेंट था that was an absolute wrong statement. It's a false statement. ऐसा तो नहीं होता है, right? Anybody who's trained in it can actually conduct an observation method. But जो इसका रीजन दिया गया था वो एक करेक्ट रीजन दिया गया था. इस तरह से आपको जो है अपने सभी असर्शन रीजनिंग बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस के ऊपर अपनी मेमोरी को अपने लॉजिक का इस्तेमाल करके वहां पे जाकर के आंसर राइट ऑप्शन को सिलेक्ट करना है. और असर्शन रीजनिंग बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस बहुत ज्यादा होने भी नहीं वाले हैं. दे गोइंग टू बी वेरी वेरी लिमिटेड because for obvious reason kids are not well versed with it yet, and it's an absolute new process that board is coming up with, so that's the reason. Okay, is there anything that you people want to ask or discuss? I can do that. The session is open for the discussion, so feel free to throw your questions at me and I'll be more than happy to take them up with you all, because I don't want to make you practice more questions. Of course, जिन लोगों को भी PDF चाहिए, they can get in touch with me. My email address is unlockpsychology3@gmail.com. They can drop me a mail and I'll provide them all the material that is lying with me or whatever videos that I make already. I can also send them those videos, PDFs, and whatever they require. So that's not a problem to me. I'm anyways making you practice at one place. I can send you the documents too. Also, कई बार जो है वीडियो में जो पिक्चर क्वालिटी है वो इतनी क्लियर लेवल पे नहीं आ पाती है. There's a reason behind it कि जो पिक्सल्स होते हैं ना वो इतनी ग्रेट क्वालिटी के नहीं होते हैं. So because of that reason, so you'll have to ignore that aspect. I can't really help it. But yeah, I try my best to actually do whatever possible I can. I think many people have any question to ask from me. That's a very rare scenario. Otherwise, I always have people shooting questions at me. Okay, guys, it looks like you people don't have any questions, and seems like I have finished my portion of work. So I'm gonna see you all next week. Of course, yeah, answer in detail about the Ivy School counselor, like they accept any diploma. Okay, so Kanika, for the Ivy schools also, it's always better to have that diploma. Okay, so go for it because that's like an added additional qualification that is expected from a counselor. So you apply in CBSE school, IB school, ICSE, IGCSE, any school you apply in, they will ask you for this counseling and guidance diploma from any reputed institution. It could be any reputed institution, not only NCRT. But if you have it, it's always an add-on thing. Go for it. There's no harm. Nobody can question your additional qualification. Just keep that one thing in your mind. Okay? You've not done anything less. कम किया होता तब सवाल उठते हैं ना, ज्यादा करने पे सवाल नहीं उठते बेटा. So it's always good. Do the diploma. It is always a feather on your cap. and it'll take you to a higher, achievements. So मुझे नहीं लगता. In fact, I know so many people who are working in IB schools. So personally, don't worry about it. There's nothing that you have to be actually thinking and pondering so much. Just go for the diploma. Rather, it's a mandatory qualification for a counselor all across India. Okay? So go for it without thinking that whether I should or I shouldn't. I hope that helps. Right? Okay. With that, guys, मैंने community section में एक tab खोला है जहाँ पे I've given you all a chance, जहाँ पे आप मुझे बता सकते हो कि मुझे कौन से टॉपिक के ऊपर अपना लाइव सेशन करना चाहिए in the coming time. Okay. And if I like the topic, if I find it interesting, I'm gonna take that thing for my next live session. So you can go comment, make it more interactive. I'm gonna reply you out there also. Now I'm gonna take a leave and I'll see you all next week. Maybe something with more preparatory stuff. So please hang in, people who've joined very recently. You should start watching this video after 10 minutes, okay? Because in the starting of the 10 minutes, I've been waiting for a lot of audience which didn't turn up in the beginning. So bye guys, take care of yourself.